Hey, good morning everyone. Thanks for joining me. Melissa here. So if you see this little mark here, that's because I was shooting and the bullets were bigger and the bullet came out of the gun. The bullets were shooting out. One hit me here and it was hot. And the other one, when I got home, when I took my hair down, it was in my hair. So I haven't had that happen before. And I told one of the ladies the only problem I had was this bullet coming out at me with this newer gun I tried. And she's like, oh, that happens. And we recommend, wearing something a little higher, just not a hoodie where a bullet can get caught, etc. So lesson learned, scar to remind me. So basically, what I want to talk about today is leadership. I have had about 68 different jobs, maybe closer to 70 actually. I think I forgot a couple more. So I have a strong business side to me, and I'm actually going to be starting college classes with business because I do have a mind for it. So as I'm getting ready to take college courses, before I even take that, I have put myself in a position where I'm hearing professionals talk about leadership. Now, I had an experience, and I'm not going to get into this because I really, really have a love for these people that I used to work for. And but I did have some ugly experiences at work. One of them was I had actually, because I have worked at so many businesses, I have all this experience. One of the places I worked at like, I don't know, I've been working since I've been like probably 11, if I count like the bow and arrow shoots where, me and my friend used to run like this hot dog hamburger stand. And, we made $50 that day from her dad for doing that at an archery shoot, Chester Rod and Gun Club. So that was cool. And then I've always been someone who, had to help my mother with cleaning, go to my great-great-grandmother's house in Hooksett and help when the cat threw up and, help her clean. She had to help her shampoo her hair because she was getting older. Excuse me. And she couldn't take care of her hair. She had yellow in her white hair. So I've always done something. And so along those lines, I've had all these different jobs. And after this job, I started studying. I picked up books thinking, how is a company supposed to run? And as I started a cleaning business, I had some experience in my own business, and I will be starting my own business again. But how is a business supposed to run? So today I listened to Dan Ulrich, and he spoke about HRs and how things are supposed to happen. So first of all, there's supposed to be empathy. Empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes and trying to understand how they feel. I am going to be, kind of touching or talking on businesses as I go through my channel, and leadership is something that's important to me. So leadership has always been very important to me as I homeschooled my kids and as I've parented. It's always been look at yourself first. I guess that's the first principle. Look at yourself, think about what you're doing. Did you say something? Did you do something that you shouldn't have done? And, sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. So we're learning as we go along. And so for one of my jobs, I've done a lot of waitressing. I worked at a bank, an insurance agency. I went to college for court reporting. I went to hairdressing school. And I've had all this investment in myself. And like I said, I started a cleaning business. And then I'm on here and I'm looking at things to broaden my audience and to help me. First of all, putting myself in someone else's shoes. I do know how that feels with the abortion issues, and that's something I talk about a lot. I know how it feels. I know how it feels to go through an abortion. I had a forced abortion at 16. I know how it feels when someone has created a crisis for you and you don't know what to do. So along with that, Dan talks about HR and what they should be doing. And it's not so much about policies as it is about managing people. It's always about culture. It's always about having a good team, making sure they work good together so that the customer gets the best service around. And then once you do that, it's really about making sure that a person has a good experience with you. If the customer has a good experience, you're on the right track. And the way you do that is making sure that your employees have a good experience. So for me, I had a situation where I wasn't even aware of this policy of not to touch the candy. So I was in the cleaning business, and there were these companies that I worked for, and they had candy out, and the candy, was for everyone, basically. So working there, I had put in, a couple candies here, a couple candies there in my little backpack that carried my keys and everything. Not a backpack, but like a waist pack. And I put the candy in thinking, I take the candy home for my kids because I'm not a big candy eater. I never have been, and I really don't eat much candy. I was taught in order to take good care of your teeth, you don't eat a lot of candy. I'm not against candy. Candy, I love Reese's peanut butter cups. I love M&Ms. Those are my favorite, but I'm not, a big candy eater. But for my kids, where I don't buy candy for them, I thought, yeah, there's free candy here, so I will bring them home, a few treats. So that was a situation that went south real fast. Basically, I don't know who complained. I think my boss got in big trouble for my actions. And, he wasn't really happy with that situation. And the way he confronted me was really kind of, what's the word? It was done in a way with anger, some intimidation that shouldn't have been done. So when HR has an issue with someone, basically what you're supposed to be doing is saying, hey, you made a mistake. I see potential in you. Let's see how we can fix this and make it better. And you want to leave your employees with a good feeling, and make them, feel that they are respected and cared for, even amongst the hard times, because there is good and hard. And, and then from there, this whole thing got, into a situation where they knew some people from where I went to church, and that whole thing with an accusation of actually stealing came into place. And that wasn't the case. And even HR said, gave an apology later and said, you know what, I should have told you the policy. It was my bad. So that part did end well. And so when you're in leadership, you have more responsibility. And it doesn't mean that, you don't make mistakes. Leadership makes mistakes. They are human. They have things that happen. They have bad days. They can be snarky sometimes. And the issue is, when you're in a work environment, what kind of culture are you creating? Are you creating one that you really care about people? Or do you just fire someone? Do you just fire them and say, for no reason at all, we are just going to fire you? And yes, you do have a right to fire people. You could fire them if you don't like the color of their shoelace. You can fire them for any reason. But is it really ethical? Is it really wise? Because from there, after you fire people for really no reason, no good reason at all, you are now having a reputation of firing somebody for no good reason. So I've only gotten fired, I had kept my jobs, and then when I felt like something just wasn't working for me, I was usually the one who said, okay, this isn't working for me now. I'm not looking for this. And kind of, either like one job I quit, I was doing a newspaper route, and I was pregnant with my fourth son, and I was not getting the sleep I needed just because I had 4 now. And so that was, it was my bad. I should have realized that my sleep was more important to me at that time of being pregnant and having 3 little ones. So that wasn't working for me. Another time that I had left a job was I was pregnant with my third son. So I was carrying quite a bit of a load there too, and it was at the end. I was almost giving birth, and I couldn't keep up with it anymore. So there are times that jobs just don't work for you. It's not like it's a bad thing. It's just not working for you. You can not only be fired for no reason, but you can also quit for no reason when we're looking at these types of jobs that are at will. So the other thing is just looking at jobs, even college. Hester College, I went over there for court reporting. It wasn't working for me anymore. I had tried it. I did love it, but I also didn't have a lot of encouragement. I was working at a court reporting firm at the same time. I thought the culture was kind of fake. I thought it was kind of like, stuck up lawyers, and I didn't really care for it. So I also had a concern about my hearing, where I had hearing issues growing up. So I didn't know if I could do it. And then when I brought that concern to the teacher, an older elderly man who was renowned for his work, there was no encouragement. I guess I wanted to be not validated, but I wanted assurance that I was making the right decision, and he kind of didn't give that. I don't know that he was really understanding what I was trying to say, so he just accepted that I had moved on from that, and that was that. So who knows? Who knows? Things happen for a reason. So basically, when you are looking at leadership, you want to work for a really good company. You want to make sure you have a company that really cares about you emotionally, psychologically. The culture is really important. I know I've heard like on Amazon. Amazon's a great company. A lot of people love Amazon, and it's because they're fast and they can put a smile on your face. Most people will go to Amazon. And then, I have just had a job. I'm starting a job, and I was listening to this guy who had worked at this company for 50 years. And he was saying, don't ever, ever, ever in life and in business let somebody have you respond to their behavior. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Just always be the bigger person. Always take the higher road. Do not respond to how people treat you. And I thought, wow, that's really good advice, because when someone is customer service, okay, the customer's always right. Of course, they're not always right, but in business, they are always right. And you just make the customer happy, basically. That's a good bit of advice, because sometimes customers can be really difficult to deal with, and you have to be the bigger one. So this is some advice. I will be talking about just different stuff I'm learning about in business, things I have learned about, things I will be talking about as I start going into business myself more. I probably will start 2 or 3 different companies, and I'm looking forward to doing this. So thanks for joining me, guys. If you have any comments, leave them below of job experiences you have had, different leadership experiences you've had, and how to deal with just difficult circumstances. Like even sometimes, like I've been to about probably 24 different churches. And sometimes the culture in a church can be really accusing and very negative, and it's really not what you're looking for. A church should be really building people up, not, really using the Bible to thump people over the head. And so these are different ways we can look at things. So that's kind of what I'll be looking at. Like I said, I read a book about different companies that succeed, companies that don't succeed, and what is the difference between them. So leave a comment, and thanks for joining me, guys.